Welcome back to Crit Crit. I am Scint.
I am Axion.
And the aliens are attacking. We are playing EG and discussing Ender's Game. But if you're going to learn to fight aliens, you gotta learn to fight aliens somewhere. Where are you going to learn?
I'm sure you can find a walkthrough on the internet somewhere.
Probably, but in Ender's Game, it's battle school. If you're EG, you're learning from your brother screaming in your ear over the loudspeaker, and I really wonder how confusing that has to be to all of the alien invaders, the Tazen, that we have seen so far.
They said that it was because, that it was fine because they couldn't understand English except through EG's translator. So it's fine.
So it's just like, imagine it's like a car alarm going off constantly though, because it's just this noise, and you don't know what it's saying, so it just keeps going off from time to time, and it's never in the same interval. Will someone turn that off already? Good lord, where is the noise coming from? But yeah, so Battle School kind of continues a very prevalent trend in a lot of YA literature. The special school. And I think there's a pretty basic reason for that. If you are trying to aim your novel at young adults, so the tween and teenage, you want to be able to, make sure whatever you write is going to resonate with their experience.
Right.
Most people in that age bracket have not had a whole lot of life experience compared to your adult readers, but with most of them, like homeschool exceptions apply, most of them will have experienced school. They are familiar with the school structure. Get on the other side of that box now.
I was trying to, but I overcorrected.
But he didn't smack you, which is why I was sitting on the other side of the box, as he was going to.
Oh yeah,
so,
that's why I was trying to get away from it.
Yeah. Most people in that age bracket will have experienced the school structure, have experienced the setup of there are teachers, there's administration, there are certain groups of students who hang out together, cliques, there are bullies, there are the people who get bullied. Some people, actually many people who read books have been the type to experience the bullying and turn to books for escape from it, so it's not always the welcome touchstone that authors sometimes fall into, but it is a thing. It's a very easy way to world build because you already have the tent poles in place for something very familiar, and all you have to do is change your actors and the set dressing, and you have a unique system. So, Ender's Game, obviously, we take promising young children from all around Earth and send them up to learn to fight aliens good. They learn how to tactics good, they learn how to use our space-age weaponry, they learn how to function in low gravity, they learn how to alien soldier, which is what the setting needs because Earth is apparently at war with an alien species that nearly wiped them out once before. Well, twice before. This is the third invasion. So, it is something that is needed. So, obviously, there are many, many other special schools for special children in literature. I mean, we've been talking about another one for like 4 video series now.
I was about to say that.
And you can see a lot of similar hallmarks there, though no one has ever tried to make Harry Potter isolated to make sure he's a good tactician, though Dumbledore did decide it was a good idea to isolate Harry to stop him from getting a swelled head and being impossible to work with as a wizard. So there might be a little bit of parallel there. Older school figure who knows best registered trademark sets child up for miserable childhood before the greater good. Don't do it. Okay, good. I don't know why they yelled to the store. I think it's they just show a random thing. Yep, yeah, you want to watch out for those. You need some better weapons for this. Like, if you can get the reflector and you can actually bounce the blue stuff back. And rocket launchers, but it takes a bit to recharge.
Well, that's why I was going, because I have unlimited ammo. Or I did for a bit.
Can't get out.
I can't quite jump high enough.
Yep, you're just gonna have to hope you don't die here. which is looking pretty forlorn at this point. We'll take that. But yeah, the other one that actually came to mind when we were coming up with these episodes for this series was Professor Xavier's School for Exceptional Children. I'm sure I have that name wrong. It's been a long time since I thought about X-Men.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but that's close if it's not correct.
Yeah, your child is special. Your child might be dangerous to those around them. Send them here, and we will help them learn to master themselves so they are taken care of and do not harm those around them. Sounds like what they did with Ender, because I think it's safe to say that when Ender wants to be a danger to those around him, he can be.
Yep.
So, in all of these examples that we've mentioned, where the child is sent away to a special school for special children who have something special about them that means they can't fit into a normal society, it kinda paints the world in a very bleak way.
I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, the world of Ender's Game is a pretty bleak world, but yes.
Yep. So, and it's obviously there will be degrees, because boarding school is a thing that exists, so if it's something like Harry Potter, it's just a boarding school with magic, which, you know, has a pretty high mortality rate, all things considered, but it's not to the apocalyptic level of you say goodbye to your parents and all of your earthly ties because you belong to battle school now. And something interesting on that is the other kids got letters from home and things sent to them and could take their things with them. Ender didn't. Ender was specifically the most isolated of them all because they needed him to be completely self-reliant to be a, quote, good commander.
Yep.
You don't want to do that. You will not make that work. You need a better weapon to do that because you have to reach from across the way, because if you blow it up to point-blank range, you will fall down into the pit. There is knockback.
Yeah, I remember that's the thing that blows up.
Yep.
I figured it out.
It's so weird playing a game that I have more experience with, because it's like, oof, I want to play, but it's fine.
Yay, ammo!
Yes, ammo is good for shooting up. Ooh, cut. Let's see how Earth is doing. Oh, that's always a good sign. You're not ready to see it. I don't want you to see it.
You're not the boss of me.
Yeah, this is probably when it would have been good to, like, explain that there are reasons other than trust me. Because, we're excited, dude, just trust me doesn't really work for, like, anyone ever. Especially when you could have, you know, led this conversation with there's a much bigger alien invasion than you thought, and Earth has basically been wiped out.
Yay! And now you see why we picked this to pair with Ender's Game. Because
I mean,
there are
we've been fighting aliens from stage 1, so... So there are a few survivors, but not very many, and things are looking pretty bleak. As Dan says, there's not much of a world to save, but... But yeah, so Ender is completely taken away from any earthly connections, and then they wonder why he's having trouble sticking with the program to, you know, save the planet. Because they don't actually explain anything to him at any point. It's just, you have to go to school, you have to go through these programs, you have to learn the thing, even as we see you very, very clearly figuring out that we are putting you through the most hell we can imagine for a child your age, and saying it's for the greater good of humanity. Yeah. At least with Hogwarts and Professor X's schools, They try to make sure that the kids are okay. Battle School, they don't care at all. They don't step in at any point when things get violent. They are training these children to learn how to kill, and they're perfectly fine letting them work it out that way. That's kind of horrifying. And I don't remember if the military leadership actually face punishment for the Ender or not.
I love the music in this game.
Oh yes.
Anyway.
Nope, they were acquitted. I was double checking. Yep. The ones who did it, who turned Ender into what he became, were completely acquitted of all charges.
Yes. That being Commander Graf and Baser Rackham and the other guy whose name I can't remember.
I don't see it listed in this chapter. Chamragnagar, I think? If that's the right one. Yeah, I had to find it on the page. Because, yeah. Even better, I believe Graf is now the new Minister of Colonization, so... Given that we don't really have any evidence that the, the third invasion had basis, the guy who picked the fight is being rewarded with, okay, cool, you just blew up a planet, it's yours. And this was the person in charge of these children at Battle School, who set them all at each other's throats, who put them all in a hyper-competitive environment where they could do actual harm to each other, and just stood back and let it happen. Yeah, the more we talk about the book, it's gonna become clear, I'm not especially a fan of it. For a variety of reasons, but... yeah.
I mean, isn't that just how it is, though? It's not an uncommon situation where the person who started the problem or made the problem worse is the one who gets a pat on the back and a job well done.
Yep, don't forget you have 3 points to spend. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was anything up there I missed, but also, yeah.
I kind of want to say health, just given how things have been going.
Yeah, I'm not exactly the safest. Is there a Clamato spending thing here? I think I'm gonna want that later.
I don't think you get it yet because
I got one.
You haven't encountered the Kamado yet. I'm trying not to spoil the game as we spoil the everyone daylight time of the book.
I mean, I've played the game before.
Still.
Yay, shiny new machine gun.
But yeah, like, I do like the overall trope of the special school for special children because it, like I said, it's a very easy world-building tool to set up a story for a young adult audience to instantly resonate with, because even if, I'd go to the other one. Never mind. Because if you go on the other one, you could have blown up the wall and jumped across.
I don't have a thing to blow the wall up with.
Yeah, you do, because the floaty thing. Yep.
Oh, well, crud.
Yep, and you've locked yourself out now. Oh, you can get... No. Yep, too low. Oh well, sorry. I don't have the game memorized, and I don't remember which way you want to go.
I don't either.
Like, I like the game, but there's a lot of broad strokes that are going on here. Yeah, I've never been able to really manage to crack a soldier very easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of really interesting ways to do character development in this setting because you have, well, you can have someone who's really, really good at school. Like, actually, Ender falls into a lot of these categories. Ender is a naive child who still knows a lot more about the world than he should at his age, who's going to be at the top of his class, can kind of fall into the arrogant jerk category because he's as smart as he is, falls into the weird loner category because of how deliberately isolated he's made to be. So yeah, he's an interesting character in that regard because he manages to fit into so many of these normal, like, school archetypes.
Yeah. These cliche molds, for lack of a better way to put it.
Yep, and you get to see the other characters fall into that as well. Like, you have Bonzo, his first commander, who doesn't really like having him around because he feels like, oh, I've got the small kid, he'll be a liability, just stand there and don't get in the way. And then takes offense when Ender starts changing up his tactics because he did not order him to, even though it made the battle go in their favor.
You're winning, but you're not winning my way or with my okay.
Yep.
And it's not good enough for me to win. I have to win with myself being the one who gets all the credit for it, and it's gotta be my idea. And with Ender doing things, that's not how it was working. So he was upset that what Ender was doing was working, and it wasn't what he wanted him to be doing.
Yep, and you get characters like Bean, who's basically like kind of a proto-Ender, roughly his age, pretty talented like Ender, wants to prove himself like Ender has to prove himself, and Ender catches himself actually starting to act toward Bean like the teachers act towards him. You need more strength if you're going to do that.
Yeah. I was trying to kick the machine gun head at him.
Yeah, like that. But yeah, so you know, there's Petra, who's I think the only girl we actually meet at battle school,
Right.
who is also very, very skilled at what she does, and basically Ender describes her as basically like his best soldier when she's put under his command when he's actually fighting the aliens.
Yep.
It's like a Dink as well, was fairly friendly to him, tries to look out for him as much as he can. So, Ender, despite being isolated, does manage to forge some connections, which is honestly more in spite of the school environment than due to it, which is unfortunate. So, yeah, I guess this is mostly a rant on the school set dressing is a really good, nice shorthand to tell a story, but I do not think Battle School is a good example of it in basically any sense of the word. Rocket launcher! So yeah, what else? Anything else to add, or...?
I think that pretty much sets the basics of setting.
Alright, in that case, next time.
Yep, see you then.